Hello, everyone, my beautiful souls. Welcome to Saturday, upstate New York, and it is just a gloriously beautiful, sunny, warm day. The leaves are changing. Let's see if we can pull in some of that color. Leaves are changing, trees are dying, we know. Anyway, gotta zoom in on the mountain for a minute. Welcome to Saturday. Hi. I'm gonna keep that zoomed in. So, Spirit has really been speaking to me, or He's always been speaking to me, and I'm just really tuning in better. That's probably the case. So, the message that I have for today, and it's a message that came in the way by way of lesson, which a lot of them do, right? So, I almost said, as you know, but you don't really know. You don't know things about me that you don't know. So there's the sun. I like to focus on that. It brings us so much energy and love. So, almost 5 years now, my life went topsy-turvy. A long-term marriage just started dying. Maybe it was already dying, but that's not the point anyway. So, which jump-started my spiritual awareness, more so than ever before. I thought I was in tune before and have learned so much more. I was a huge part of organized religion. And thought I was tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Thank you, Esther Hicks, for that. But as it seems, I was not so much tuned in. I don't want to say the right way, because I want to put right or wrong on it, but for me, and in a way that is just way more profound and direct, and realizing how much direction God does give us. Spirit, the Holy Spirit, the universe, source creator of all it is, and realizing that we co-create our reality with the divine, and they guide us. It's almost like a video game, but we have to somehow tap into that telepathy, or that connection, that spiritual connection, to gain the guidance, to get to the next level. I'm giggling at myself right now as this is coming through, and I'm realizing how funny but true and synchronistic it is. So anyway, it was a terrible struggle for me. It still can be sometimes. And I started chasing dreams and chasing bills and chasing money to pay bills, and figuring out ways, and stressing and worrying. And I've been doing that for so long. I've come to some new awarenesses. Even though I thought I was further along, each time I think I'm further along, I find a new, greater path. And it's amazing. So, you never stop growing. It's wonderful. It's just absolutely wonderful. And yes, there's more of a point to this. I'm just getting lost in the joy of it, really. I really am the joy of nature and talking about this. Okay, so yes, start chasing. And now I'm like, not now, but I was, chasing love because I thrive on love. I thrive when I'm motivated by love. And so, on several occasions, I thought I might have found something that could lead to love, and turned out to be disappointing, for one reason or another. And sometimes the ones that are most available to us, but not really have a lot of content, a lot of, what's the word I need? A lot of meat, not even meat, substance, not even necessarily substance, but quality to offer, goodness. And I learned that I was no longer sacrificing that in my life for potential. Well, it could get better. It might promise to be better. Oh, I'm seeing hearts in the clouds over here in the sky. They're drifting now. You see that little one and the big one? Anyway, it might just be me. So, I'm also enjoying a nice hot cup of Cumberland Farms coffee. So, and then I met this guy who was a wonderful person, is a wonderful person. Kind, compassionate, deep, committal, though not to a relationship. He loves his family so deeply, and by family I mean mother, father, daughter, grandson, even the ex-wife. And we met. We had a great time hanging out, but he worked out of town, and he didn't come into town very often, but I was always very happy to see him when he did come in, and we would spend time together when he came into town. And it got to a point where I wanted more of it because it was so joyful, and I really needed the joy in my life. And I was putting, lesson number 1, I was putting my joy in his hands, which, by the way, is completely unfair and unrealistic. Though I did it. And, I even got angry with him. I'm like, I'm never going to be more enough to you to prioritize. And so I don't want to see you anymore. And it had been 6 months or more that I had seen him. And I was out at the local pub. I walked into the local pub, and there he was playing pool. And I was so happy to see him that I had forgotten even about the conversation I had with him where I kind of tossed him away. Even though we didn't have a committed relationship. And I didn't ask, and he didn't ask about anything that happened in between the times we saw each other. But we did connect that night. And then I felt bad about it. I said to myself, see, Laurie, there you go again, putting yourself in these situations. And So I hadn't thought about it for a long time. I wrote it off. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. And a couple of days ago, he started coming across my mind. And not in a way that I missed him, or, hey, I was thinking about him and I miss him. And no, it was more like, I don't know if I can explain it. I'm trying not to say his name. You know, I'm like, so-and-so needs to hear from me. So-and-so needs to hear from you. So-and-so needs to hear from you. I'm not even sure it was those words, but that was the feeling that I got. Was that it's just, and I'm like, geez, I wonder if he's okay. I'm going to reach out and text him and ask. And I did. And he immediately texted me back and he said, hey, you know, it's really nice to hear from you. I've missed you. And I'm actually on my way in that direction and could stop over for the night if you're interested in hanging out. And I said yes. And I thought at the time I was going to regret it. And I'm like, here I go again. But here's what I got. Okay, so he shows up and we're just two people being two people. We're just being who we are, joyous to see each other. And it turned out to be a most wonderful time. We went to dinner. Well, he came, he showered. You know, we tit for tatted, you know, around the house. While he showered and got dressed and finished up this and da-da-da-da-da. And then we went out to dinner and we made another stop. And then we stopped at the local VFW and had a few more beers and came back to the house. Stayed up most of the night talking and playing. And it was so much fun. I actually did not overdrink, which I normally do to mask my feelings. It was hard for me to be with anyone else after my husband. So that's part of the feelings I was hiding, but also the pain in my body. And also, I didn't want to be needy to him. I just wanted to be me. And he loved me for me, and I loved him for him. And he's such a wonderful, kind, caring person. My point to this story is that I am taking away from this all of the joy that it has to offer, and I am milking it for every last ounce and drop of joy and goodness that's coming from it. I got more joy from this one interaction with this wonderful individual than I did with a month long trying to make something work with this other person that just was not a good person, not gonna ever get there, not gonna understand me in the slightest. And that's my point. I was feeling bad about only seeing him once every couple of months, and it felt wrong. But the amount of joy that we both experienced and took away from this, I mean, he even said he was feeling down, and that's not him. That is not his personality at all. He is the epitome of positivity and joy. And he is my friend. And that man has been through probably the worst pain, I'm going to say. Maybe you feel like yours is worse, but I'm just going to say that a person can go through, and that is losing a child to suicide. So for him to have gone through that and be who he is just amazing on its own. And for him to even bless me with his presence for as long as he can. It's not because he doesn't want to. He's got so many obligations and he takes care of so many people. And this is for him. This time that we spend together is his. He doesn't take much for himself. And I'm so proud to know him. But the lesson is You don't have to chase what's meant for you. And if it brings you joy, take it. Take the joy. There's nothing to feel guilty about. And don't fall in love with potential. Unless you're both at the same level when you start and you work together towards something. Okay? So that's not to say everybody's at their peaking highest, and I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, if it isn't everything that you think it should be at the time that you're experiencing, then it's not for you. I have no idea if I'm going to air this, share this, or what I'm going to title it. But I am sending you so much love and wishes of blessings. Peace out.